After a decorated career in television, the Family Plan director Cellan Jones has returned to feature films for the first time in 2+ decades. Cellan Jones' feature career began with 2000's Some Voices, a British drama starring a still-emerging Daniel Craig, and he soon followed that up with 2002's The One and Only, before spending 2 decades in television, helming episodes of How to Make It in America, Dream, Jessica Jones, Boardwalk Empire, Ballers, and Shooter. 4 of the aforementioned shows were executive produced by Mark Wahlberg, and when the actor needed a filmmaker to direct March 2024's Arthur the King during the pandemic, he gave Cellan Jones a second go-round in the feature space. The shoot went well, so well that after Cellan Jones locked picture, he quickly started prepping their current Apple TV Plus release, The Family Plan. The action comedy centers around Wahlberg and Michelle Monaghan's character's suburban family, as they're forced to go on the run when Wahlberg's Dan Morgan, a former government assassin, has his cover blown. Monaghan, whose character Jessica is unaware of her husband's past life, played a similar role alongside Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 3. But she and Cellan Jones were determined to make her more active in this story than she was in the beloved spy franchise. Instead of getting an actress to play second fiddle as the wife part, Monaghan rose to the challenge and made herself, in a lovely way, an equal part of the movie. Cellan Jones tells The Hollywood Reporter, "I wanted all the family members to have equal involvement in a piece that's about something and not just be a gratuitous star vehicle." Cellan Jones is also looking ahead to March's release of Arthur the King, which chronicles the true story of an adventure racer who bonds with a stray dog during an endurance challenge. Based on Michael Leinord's life and memoir, Arthur, the dog who crossed the jungle to find a home, the film's production ended up being rather therapeutic for Leinord. We had Michael Leinord, the co-writer of the memoir, on set, and tragically, just before we started shooting, the Real dog died of old age, Cellan Jones says. So he was heartbroken, but it was wonderful for Michael to see the film being made before his very eyes because it sort of brought the dog back. Below, during a recent conversation with THR, Cellan Jones, pronounced Kethlon Jones, also discusses his memories of working with a 31-year-old Craig, as well as reuniting Monaghan with fellow Mission Impossible 3 co-star Maggie Q in The Family Plan. So how does one end up directing back-to-back Mark Wahlberg movies? I don't know, but I'm pretty happy about it. The film we did before The Family Plan, Arthur the King, is coming out in March, and it's a slightly smaller movie. It was one of those movies where I knew Mark a little bit, and I knew people who worked with him, but we'd never done anything. It was the time of the pandemic. Things got a bit crazy, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time for Arthur the King. They needed someone urgently, and I was there. So we started working together, and I just loved it. I love working with someone as good as Mark. I don't want to sound like too much of a fanboy, but he's a movie star for a reason. He's also just utterly brilliant to work with. He's fun, applied, and committed, so I was blessed. And then with The Family Plan, perhaps I knew him a bit better, and while I don't know if I was the first choice, they were more interested in working with me. And I had so much fun on this film because it's a bit more daunting. It had a much bigger budget than I'd worked with before, but after a few weeks, I went, wait a minute, I can do this. So I just loved it. Pretty much, yeah. It was quite rapid, but you don't turn down opportunities like this. You directed on multiple shows that Wahlberg executive produced, starting with How to Make It in America and Boardwalk Empire. Did you encounter each other on any of those sets? Absolutely. I met him a few times, and we were friendly. We'd say hi, but I didn't know him well at all. He works on so many things, and we passed like ships in the night. But these films were a chance to get to know him properly. Mark said not too long ago that he's planning to dial back his output, but considering that you just made 2 movies with him, did you get any sense that he's slowing down anytime soon? No, I would still class him as the hardest working man in showbiz. He's an entrepreneur. He does all sorts of stuff like that. He is working a lot in the city of Las Vegas, and he's really excited about making more films there. So maybe he will ration himself, but I've not seen any sign of a slowdown. The Family Plan and Arthur the King are your first features in 2+ decades. Did you just get comfortable on television and not really make any further overtures in the feature world? No, I did. I just landed into that thing where I was doing well in TV. The films I made were good, but they were quite small. So perhaps I didn't quite catch on in those days, but while not everyone gets a second chance, I did this time and I'm relishing it. I'm more confident, more excited, and not taking anything for granted. So I'm up to this challenge, and I'm excited to work in this field a little bit more. I'm not assuming I will, but I'm ready to grab the bigger budget films by the horns.